crews and people who participated in the scavenger/treasure hunt. And hopefully we'll have more events like that. So congratulations to our winners, Patrick and Damon. Woo! All right, so hello and welcome to the beautiful Sunray Cinema, the best in town.
Round of applause. We'll be here all night.
We always like to thank Tim and Shayna for letting us come out and host these nights and bring all you wonderful people out here. And we always thank the staff. Without them, we wouldn't have our delicious treats and our wonderful, amazing service. So round of applause.
Yay. I got one person doing the ride with me. So all it takes is one.
I am Eryn.
And I am Tammy. Together, we are the Internal Cauldron of Emotions. We are a Nicolas Cage podcast. Our spiel is we put all of Nick's movies in a spinner, and we call it Cajun Roulette. So we spin to see what our next movie is going to be, and sometimes it's very exciting, and sometimes it's very depressing. If you know his history, God bless him, but they're not all winners, as we say. So each episode, we've got a movie. We make a themed cocktail, we drink, and we talk all about the movie, what we like, what we didn't like, and we also share some facts and knick-knacks, which is why we are here today. You can find us on Amazon Music, Spotify, Pandora, basically anywhere you listen to your favorite podcast, add us. Listen to it when you're in that meeting that should have been an email instead, and, you know, give us a shout-out.
So our first Nick Nug of the night, and if this is your first time, Nicholas Nugget, is some tasty little facts about the movie and about Nick. Our first is National Treasure was actually supposed to come out in 2000.
4 years before it actually came out in 2004, if you're bad at math like me.
Due to the elaborate plot, the pre-production took ages. They had to bring in 9 writers to get the story straight.
How many people does it take to write a script?
9. It's 9. So after all that hard work that they did, all 9 writers figured out that the runtime for their movie was going to be about 4 hours long. Which doesn't seem like a lot now, seeing as how we have Marvel movies that come out that are about that long anyways. But in 2000, that was too much. So they worked really hard and diligently to make sure that the plot was not jeopardized and got it down to the runtime that we will have here today, which is a little over 2 hours long.
One of the recurring Nick Nugs that we like to talk about is, was Nick the chosen leading man? And shockingly, because we all love him, he's a lot of times not. I don't know what's going on with these directors, but he's not always the first choice. And it's wild to hear sometimes who the first choice was. But for National Treasure, Nick was the one and only. Producer Jerry Bruckheimer had only Nick in his sight, probably because they had already made such Cajun classics like The Rock. Wasn't that a great impression? No, it wasn't. I'm so sorry. Gone in 60 Seconds and Con Air. It was actually Nick who was like, I don't know if I want to make this film. It doesn't seem plausible. This coming from the guy who made a little film you may have heard of called Face Off. But National Treasure wasn't plausible. But Bruckheimer was like, no. Like, I want you. We're going to make this rooted in as much realism as possible. Think like historical fiction. And he also got director John Turteltaub in on this whole convincing Nick. And as a bonus, Nick and John Turteltaub were actually high school buddies who constantly pranked each other in high school. So along with all of that put together, Nick put his faith in National Treasure, and we have this amazing gem that you will be watching tonight.
So Nick and Diane Kruger, who plays the very lovely Dr. Abigail Chase, worked really hard to... He's like, Diane, yeah. They worked really hard to get their chemistry right. So Nick said in an interview that they would go out and just blow the roof off and do karaoke together. It'd be completely ridiculous. So they rocked out to such songs by Rage Against the Machine, AC/DC, and the Sex Pistols.
Wow. I don't like karaoke, but I think I would like that kind of karaoke.
I did karaoke with her once.
One time, you had to get me really drunk. Anyway, the my personal favorite, because it is sort of rooted in some sort of history or at least mythology, if you will, is that as Nick was getting into the National Treasures, he decided, you know what I'm going to do? I'm also going to search for a treasure. And he decided, of all the treasures that have not been found yet, he was going to search for, any guesses? Ooh, Atlantis, I love it. No, Jason Momoa took that one. I'm just kidding. He decided he was going to try to find the Holy Grail. So he started with documentaries and books, and what turned out to be like a weekend sort of thing turned into a straight obsession, because that's how Nick is. He ended up finding clues that led him to actually decide to travel, and he traveled to Glastonbury, England, to the Chalice Well.
Chalice Well, yeah.
Which is supposed to be one of the resting places of the Holy Grail itself. Now, when we say one of the resting places, if you know anything about treasure hunting, because I know that's what we all do, or the movies that we watch about treasure hunting, you know that the movies always say it always gets moved because there was a war or someone's about to find it, or like, I don't know, the evil villain's almost there. So there is factual accounts that say it should have been there, but it wasn't. It led him to more clues. It led him to Rhode Island, US of A, where he looked and looked and looked, but did he find it? That's what we really want to know. Here's what he said. Quoted, I realized that the Holy Grail was really just Earth itself. Is that not the most Nick Cage thing to say? And also sounds like someone who totally found it but isn't going to say they found it. He's got to replace that dinosaur skull somehow.
So a little fact about that real quick is that he did buy property in Rhode Island.
He was like, it's because I loved the area. Okay, Nick. Exactly. He's got to have his backup pyramid there.
So our last nugget of the evening, and certainly not least, is about the Declaration of Independence itself. So, is there something written on the back of the map? There is. Does anyone want to guess what might be back there? No. Okay, cool.
Is it in Nick We Trust?
It's in Nick We Trust, yes. So on the back, oh, excuse me, let me preface this. It was removed from the rotunda in 2001 to prepare it for a fancy new case. The archivist that did all the work and removed it did peep on the back to make sure about the treasure map. He said, there's not one. However, there is a small little inscription in the bottom corner. It says, the original Declaration of Independence, July 4th, 1776.
Just like your teacher said, put your name and date on your paper.
So, did we really expect a bunch of well-trained archivists to get out lemon juice and a hairdryer to find out if there truly is a hidden map on the back? Yeah.
Right? I did. But, you know.
They're going to hire her next.
I know.
So, sadly, there's no map, but who knows, there might be.
Will we know? So thank you guys so much for coming out. We're going to go ahead and get everything started. As always, when we do these Nick at Night events, we will be outside ready to talk to you, because that is literally 50% of what we love to do on our podcast is talk. We talk entirely too much. So let us know what you thought about our Nick Nugs. Do you have other movie facts that you know about? Which do you like better, National Treasure 1 or 2? I forgot the name of the second one because I don't really like it. Tell me, tell me why it's a good movie and I should watch it. Tell me what movies you're interested in to see next. And as always, we also have our Nick Scents, Nicolas Cage themed scented candles. Tonight's scent is WWBFGD. What would Benjamin Franklin Gates do? Like that other guy that maybe you've heard of, but this one's Ben Franklin Gates. So we also have some from Raising Arizona, Vampire's Kiss, a few other things. Let us know. We've got freebies. We have our drink recipes for this one that we made that is made with edible glitter, y'all. And those are free for you. Grab your pins. Just come talk to us, guys. We just love to talk to people. That's all we do.
That's all we do. So thanks again for coming out, and in a couple of months we're going to be showing the little-known but fantastic Willy's Wonderland.
Yes, for those poor people, guys. Y'all don't even know. Y'all don't even know how great it is.
It went straight to video on demand, thanks COVID. but think Five Nights at Freddy's, but with Nicolas Cage.
So obviously better.
So
No offense to Five Nights at Freddy's fans, but it's Nicolas Cage. There's kids. I had to edit it.
So we'll let this show get started, and as we say on the podcast, always remember, in Nick we trust.
Woo!